Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to the breakfast show with myself and my favorite co host here on the right or left, depending on, I don't know, the camera. Jose, good morning. How are you today?
Pretty good, Neil. Good morning, and good morning to everybody watching. It's always happy to be here. We got a lot already good mornings coming in through the channel, so thank you for joining us. Let's hope today might be a better morning or a better day than yesterday.
I mean, yesterday such a bad day, actually, in the end?
I don't know. I didn't really look at it too much. I saw it was some red, especially maybe on some of the growth stocks. I didn't see much of the big players. We had Uber, right? Did hit all-time highs
Yep.
at one point. I don't know if it finished there, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. But I know a lot of kind of the popular stocks did take quite a hit.
Yeah,
For
I think.
example, we saw like Nvidia's, Applied Digital, all those companies like around that trend.
Yeah,
So
so
for
this was yesterday. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Not that great. But then you have popular names like Palantir that are still up
Yeah.
3.5%. I believe SoFi did also close at a 3-year high, if I
We
remember
said popular
correctly.
names, not boring names.
Yeah, popular names. I didn't say Nvidia. I said in SoFi.
um,
Yeah, finished the day actually at $19.24. So 3-year high for SoFi, which is probably why I didn't see such a big hit in the portfolio because, I'm cool like that. Good afternoon from Portugal. We got some people all around the world here. Bom dia. This is my Portuguese here.
hmm.
Um, so yeah, we've got some interesting stories actually today. First of all, we maybe have to go back because we both talked about it yesterday, the CoreWeave and Core
Hmm.
Scientific deal. And of course, Applied Digital, all the others went down. And we figured it out, right? We figured it out. We talked about the deal on our channels. And now, a day later, what do you make of it?
A day later, Neil, I don't know. I don't. If one believes the deal is gonna happen, I'm kind of, if I want to keep my CoreWeave shares, I'm like, why would, if I believe this deal is gonna happen, if I don't see any regulatory, doesn't it make more sense for me to sell all my CoreWeave shares and just buy cores instead if I can get it at a premium? If obviously you have that risk of the deal never not going through and then you're screwed, but like, if it does, you're getting it at a 25% discount. So I don't know if I might be leaning to doing something like that. Especially since I already sold most of my core, if it would be kind of like the smaller position, and then I'll be able to play kind of that arbitrage trade there. But But overall, I still believe the deal benefited CoreWeave the most.
Hmm.
They did have a presentation. I don't know if you saw the presentation they had for this acquisition, and most of the data center places that Cores had were already being rented out by CoreWeave, and the other ones were just being built up. So it's like, why would you be paying a middleman for something you own 100% of, right? So
Yeah.
that's it. The acquisition made perfect. It makes perfect sense. Um, it's like I said, if you're already paying them 100% for all your infrastructure, and you're most likely paying them at a higher margin because they need to make money out of it too, why not just buy the business out and no longer have to pay the margin? So it makes sense. Now I'm trying to make sense of what might be the best way I can play this arbitrage trade here, especially if I'm already a CoreWeave shareholder, right? And um, it's I don't know. And do you think I'm crazy for thinking that, Neil? What are your thoughts there? Of maybe like, again, I already sold out most of my position on CoreWeave, but that little amount that I have left,
Hmm.
um, taking that off and switching it to cores instead, since in theory with the price point right now, I would be getting CoreWeave at like $120.
Yeah, I mean, for you, of course, it's different than for everybody else because you got CoreWeave, you had massive, massive gains already. So everything that you took off the table, I mean, pure profit, and whatever's left is basically house money. And so right
Mhm.
now, if you do want to get CoreWeave again in the future, then yeah, maybe going with cores at a, let's say, depleted price, although it was a little bit lower yesterday, but we have
Mhm.
seen some buying action under $14, could be the play here. But again, we don't know what's going to happen until Q4, right? Because maybe in Q4, CoreWeave stock price can be slashed in half, can also not move, right? Can still stay around
Mhm.
150, maybe even if it's 140 or 130. It's not that big of a deal. Um, so yeah, I guess, I mean, since course is down so much, I guess I would say like it makes sense. Um, but yeah, we are. It's a funny situation because it doesn't really depend on the companies. It depends more on one, also the lockup period expiring in September,
Mhm.
a massive effect on
Yeah.
CoreWeave
But
stock price.
the thing for that, I was thinking is like that is going to react to Kobe's price regardless, right? It has nothing to do with this acquisition. So it's like um, you're still getting that course at a through that course exchange rate. It's still cheaper no matter where you go through it.
Correct,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you
Um,
buy it today and it drops to 12 or
yeah,
13 for some
that's
reason,
true. Yeah.
then
Hmm.
you get that impact. But
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting. Let's
Yeah.
check the others real quick. Seems like Applied Digital went under $10, but it's staying quite close to that $10.
We pulling the trigger on this one yet, Neil?
I want to because I mean it's been trading at these prices for a while, even after the deal was announced. Now, of course, with CoreWeave probably owning Core Scientific, right? Later
Hmm.
this year, it might mean that they might not need Apply Digital anymore in the future. Of course, the deal has
Yeah.
been made, but maybe other deals will not be made. But then again, doesn't mean that other companies can't make a deal with Apply
Hmm.
Digital, for example.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
so,
but
so
I
yeah.
think I think for Applied Digital, especially in this North Dakota data center,
Hmm.
Core CoreWeave, yeah, CoreWeave, pretty much has the ability to get the whole space, because it mentions that there it was, I think, 200 megawatts
250.
at 250 at first,
Yeah.
then 150 later on, and
Hmm.
then even the additional stuff. And if you add all of them up, I think they have the optionality. I think they only least guaranteed of I think like the first phase. But they have the optionality if they want to rent out phase two and phase three at its full usage. So does this open up the world where Applied Digital is going to get the next offer of this CoreWeave acquisition spree? Because this is not the first acquisition CoreWeave made. I want to say in the past 3 months. I think they did like a software stack solution company. It wasn't public. I think it was a way smaller than this acquisition. But does this open up the doors for maybe now? CoreWeave coming into Applied Digital and offering them a acquisition as well. And I don't know if I'm down or all right. So Neil is down. Give me one quick second. I need to get. Oh, there you go. What happened, Neil?
I don't know. Suddenly started to say reconnecting, and I was like, okay.
Mm-mm. All right, Neil. While you're doing this really quick, I'm gonna jump into the other account so I can pull some questions. I'll be right back.
All right. I don't know what he said before, but fine. Anyways, there is here. Yeah, I mean, CoreWeave is at a higher market cap than PayPal. What a cloud market it is. Correct. Correct. Of course, CoreWeave is growing much faster than PayPal, but PayPal being much, much more profitable at the moment is, of course, the counter argument, but yeah, completely different companies right now. But yeah, I agree. PayPal is still very, very undervalued all in all. I don't. If anyone can tell me what he wanted me to do before when I froze, that would be
Wait,
very
nothing,
helpful.
nothing. I think everything was good, Neil. I just when I
Okay.
logged back in, I couldn't. My audio was messed up. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Another
It
name
was a
here
blessing.
that does not see any actually slow down despite all of these deals, because we've seen Applied Digital come down, we've seen Cypher Mining come down, but Iron actually went down, but then finished the day up green again. I don't know if this is, I mean, I don't know. Probably this is also based purely on momentum, but seems like there is some strength, a lot of strength here in Iron. And well, since the April lows, this thing has more than tripled, and it's actually up 70% in the last, what is it, 10 days, 10 days or so. So there's definitely a lot of momentum in these smaller names. This one is what you told me, right? Pizza Hut. Yeah, Hut 8, also one with some solid momentum. But yeah, it seems like even the market, even some analysts are saying that these smaller names, these Bitcoin miners, might be getting a lot more attention because of the infrastructure that they have in place,
Yeah.
and the potential pivot that they could be making. Plus, like we spoke about yesterday, there's just so much demand out there, and so whoever can provide them with the necessary energy will probably get some deals done, or basically get acquired, like Core Scientific did.
Yeah, and one buddy kind of talks about this a little bit. Good morning, thoughts on Google here. I'm debating on 100 shares here. One of the reasons I'm bullish is their cloud revenue. With the recent Oracle news, I feel like Google will continue to do well. I agree, man. I agree there, one buddy. One of the reasons I'm actually pretty excited for Google is just their cloud market. Obviously, everything else that comes with it is a nice plus, the AI, the Waymo. But I think one of the lowest hanging fruit for them, Neil, is that cloud space with the way the AI market is evolving right now. And if Oracle is expected to see $30 billion in annual revenue from one customer in fiscal year of 2028, which is calendar of 2027, why wouldn't Google expect certain, maybe not that type of growth, because Oracle does a little bit more bare metal than Google. So it might be a little bit different, but it still gives me a strong indication that Google should start to see more growth in their Google Cloud revenue. And the second thing is, with this low-hanging fruit, they have the TPUs, which they can help to build more AI servers than some of their competitors. So I like it, one buddy. I don't know what stock price it is, but even if it's at 176 here, Neil put that up for me, or 177, it is up pre-market. Wow, that's interesting. Google up on the pre-market. But yeah, I mean, obviously I like it better at 160s and at 150s. I'm not going to say I hate it at 170 still. I still believe this is going to be it's one of the most undervalued Max 7, and the market is completely sleeping on it.
I agree. I don't know what they have to do to get back above that $180, but maybe earnings will do. The trick for them. Another name,
I
I
also
think
like
this.
this. Before we go there, there's another question here on the on Google. I know one thing you've mentioned. I like how you mentioned it, Neil, is kind kind of like Waymo's like a call option
Hmm.
for Google. If it does really well, it can help really push the stock price. Do you think Waymo is now getting popular enough that if something bad happens to Waymo, it's going to correlate to the stock price itself? Um, or is it still so small and, like you mentioned, still such a call option that it wouldn't affect the actual price right now?
I mean, so far, it doesn't seem like it affects the price because, I mean, yesterday they announced that they're testing in Philly and in New York City, and the price didn't move, right?
Hmm.
So I just don't think that the market takes it that seriously at the moment. Um, of course, if there is a bad headline, a car crash or whatnot, then maybe yes, just because of the algos playing its
Hmm.
part. But I think it will have way less of an impact than a Tesla, for example, because
Hmm.
that's, I mean, the impact on the business is much bigger for Tesla than it is for a Google at the moment. So that's uh that's why. Just like we said, call option.
Yeah. 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 I just want to go here with Thomas. Thomas, Google. If Broadcom replaces anybody, it's definitely not Google. It has to be Apple. Someone needs to replace Apple out of this Max 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. We'll talk a little bit about Apple in a bit, but there have been some questions about SoundHound more recently, because I mean everything goes up, so we go back to the SoundHound AI stuff, and it seems like, yeah, we're back to $11 or so. This one has also rebounded nicely, but way less than before, right? Before, this thing pumped like no tomorrow, from $5 to, what is it here, $25 or so. Um, but yeah, I mean, my view with this, I know some people say, oh, you're a hater. No, I'm not a hater. I just don't see
Hater.
I just don't see the moat with SoundHound, right? I just don't see how their tech beats Google's or okay, Apple, I don't know, but Google's or Meta's or Microsoft or Amazon's, OpenAI's, right? ChatGPT voice. I just don't know how SoundHound beats them all. Yes, they've got partnerships, of course, with restaurant chains and whatnot, but that's not a moat. Plus, the only reason that they're growing fast is because they acquired other companies. And in the meantime, you get diluted like no tomorrow, and they still lose more money than before. So, yes, of course, it has a lot of momentum. Yes, of course, it is up significantly from the lows in 2024, especially at the start of 2024. Actually, this is where I talked about it first, $2. And so, yeah, it did definitely very well, but that doesn't mean it's a good long-term investment. That's just my point here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Neil, I was teasing you. I'm definitely not a fan of SoundHound, and the main reason is right now. One of the reasons SoundHound and a lot of these, what I would say, AI consulting, because I think that's what SoundHound at the end of the day is kind of consulting with its own type of product. All these AI, all these restaurants on how to integrate AI, because it's hard to do right now. It's such a new technology. A lot of these kind of companies might have some form of software solution. I mean, all these type of big tech players have software engineers, but maybe they don't have the AI team. What's going to happen when AI doesn't? It's not as hard anymore. What happens when AI becomes a lot easier and becomes kind of a normal source or for every type of software engineer? Um, you're going to start to see them maybe pushing away from companies like SoundHound and create their own solution. I know there's this many talk about this great partnership between Nvidia and SoundHound, and I don't think there's really a nice partnership. There were a few reports during kind of the GTC event that Nvidia has kind of created their own easy to use voice AI solution that a lot of restaurants are starting to use now. So Nvidia is making it easier for people to use AI, and in the bad term, I think it's going to hurt a lot of these engineering companies that I would kind of consider a little bit more SoundHound, where it's so easy that you can skip that middleman and you can kind of develop it your own.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget that the main reason why SoundHound got very popular is because it appeared on NVIDIA's 13F, and then it also disappeared from NVIDIA's 13F. So if that was your investment thesis, it is not a good one. It is not a good one. Roberto here with the super chat. First of all, thank you very much. Ask why I chose to go with Rocket Lab and not AST Space Mobile. Uh, Very simply put, I like Rocket Lab's business more diversified, in my opinion. Plus, it generates already revenue today, or even when I opened my position, AST was more of a speculative play back then. Plus, it was already w- way more expensive than Rocket Lab. But then, of course, it corrected itself, and now we're back to I think, what is it, $50 or so. Yeah, 45. So for me, Rocket Lab just made way more sense at that time, and even today, I just like their business more and than AST. That doesn't mean that AST cannot be successful, but AST at the moment does also have to prove the market still. Yes, they are expecting to generate revenue, I think, later in the back half of this year, but the long-term thesis still needs to be proven out. You can say the same thing with Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab still has to prove Neutron. That's true. But in the meantime, we do have Electron, we do have the space systems, we do have satellites now. So to me, I just like that one-stop shop type of solution and not be concentrated in just one thing, such as, or two things, such as ASTS offers. Again, that doesn't mean that I'm bearish on ASTS. I actually made a bullish video on ASTS right around here, $23 or so. So you're all very welcome for the pump. The couch pump continues.
Yo, pump some of my stocks, yo.
Your stock's already pumped enough, huh? Um, but you expect demand for sending things to space to keep going up. I do expect demand for sending things to space to keep going up. And it's not just that. Remember, it's not all about the launch services. It's about maintenance, about satellites, about systems, um, space applications. So that's the thing. Even right now, launch is only 1/3 of the business. Of course, with Neutron, it's probably going to be a bit bigger than that. But it's the whole package that you get. And don't forget, and this is something that, of course, someone already told me last time. Once you launch something in space, it's not a one-time thing and you're done. You will have to launch again, repair stuff, or maybe replace it. So it's a continuous process. I mean, even ASTS has to go to space, right? Because how do they get their satellites up there? With SpaceX, Blue Origin, and the Indian company. Space isn't real. I mean, I'll tell you
You're
once
being
I'm up
fooled,
there.
Neil.
I'll tell you once I'm up there. We will do a stream in space.
Waldo here. Have you checked Bit Digital? I have not heard of them. Neil, I'm gonna guess based on the name, it's one of those Bitcoin miner companies, or if not, just a Bitcoin company in general. Yeah, definitely not.
I'll just show real quick the market action in Europe at the moment, mixed. As you can see, it seems like Europe has been mixed for a couple of days now. Asia is green at the moment. Pre-market in the US, we are mixed here as well. The Dow down a little bit, whereas the S&P and the Nasdaq are green right now. 10-year yield is actually at 4.42. So it did go up over the last couple of days. FX-wise, 1.17 euro dollars at the moment. So, okay, seems like we are quite muted right now. I did see that the United States will offer a EU 10% tariff deal with conditions. So, okay, there is that. And then, I don't know if you want to go already straight into the Meta Apple deal, but anyways, here it is. And Luna,
We can go
thank
right
you very
to
much.
it.
This is just crazy, right? This is, I mean, Zuck he's killing it right now. So Bloomberg reports that Apple's head of AI models is leaving for Meta's new superintelligence group. Meta reportedly offered him a package worth tens of millions per year. Pang led Apple's 100-person foundation model team behind Apple Intelligence and Siri. Now, on the one hand, I'm like, Apple Intelligence and Siri suck. So why would you poach that guy? But on the other hand, if you can make Apple weaker, I think that's exactly what Zuck wants to do every single day.
He'll
And
say.
so, yeah, I mean, this is this is crazy. This is just
Yeah. But
incredible for him.
I wonder, Neil, if it's not that Apple lacks AI talent. I wonder if Apple's culture and the way it wants to stay with its ecosystem not allow Apple engineers to show their talent, right? And the other thing is AI is, I'm pretty sure Apple is not paying the type of money AI is going. So if I was an AI engineer that really wanted to create something revolutionary, um, I don't think I would be staying at Apple. I think I would be going to either Meta, XAI, OpenAI, or one of those companies where if
Deep
I'm a
Mind.
top talent,
Come
yeah,
on,
or I'm
Jose.
a top talent.
Give them some love.
Deep mind. All right, deep mind. But regardless, it's if I want to. Right now, you're in such a pivotal moment in technology where your name can be put into a lot of these technological papers, and your name could come out into a lot of these large language models. You can say, as an engineer, as a scientist, I created this. If I'm at that moment, I'm not going to stay at Apple because I don't believe Apple is going to be the one that's going to help me get my name plus a lot of hundreds of millions of dollars. But I do think some of these engineers care a little bit about both. They care both about the money coming in, obviously, but they also care about some form of legacy. I think that's how humankind is they want to create a legacy on whatever they're good at. And these AI scientists are good at AI, so they have to find some good players. So first I saw a funny comment to this is like, oh, so you're saying Apple did have AI talent before, now it doesn't anymore, which I thought it was good. But yeah, I think Apple just continues to lose the ball here in this AI space.
Yeah, and I see here one of the reputable Apple guys that cover Apple. It said the team behind Apple intelligence models is already not pleased that the company is considering using OpenAI or Anthropic to power Siri. I'm like, you're not pleased that you sucked at your job, so that your company now has to go look for a better solution. I'm like, come on, guys, this is not serious. Um, but yeah, I found that a funny story. There is another interest in this.
Yeah.
It's this guy right here, Mark Gurman. He does follow
Oh, I
Apple
didn't see that one.
quite closely. You might have seen this one. This is affecting your meme stock, Nvidia. So
Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
um, yeah, so Nvidia here, we got a long note from Citi. Basically, the bottom line is this. 2028 data center semis total addressable market, GPU custom ASICs, including HBM, is going to be 70% of the total addressable market, according to them, of course. So that's $396 billion. CPUs only 2% at $12 billion per Intel.
That's
Networking
sad.
is networking is 21% at $119 billion. That's pretty good for for Broadcom and Nvidia, I guess. And then others, including storage, that's 6% at $36 billion, so a TAM of $563 billion, which, I mean, it's not okay, but I guess AMD's 500 billion is, yeah, AI accelerators. I don't know if you can put all of that in the same boat, but
Yeah, I think an AMD does. I think it includes CPUs, it includes the networking and
okay.
the other stuff for AMD. So this is actually a little bit more bullish than what AMD projected. I also saw here, Neo, that one of the main reasons for the price target increases for both AMD and Nvidia actually got a price target from Citi, was they increased the total addressable market by about, I think it was about 15%. So before it was like 560 billion, now it's 500 or lower. I forget. So,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. So they increased it by 13% compared to previous forecast by 2028. I mean, obviously, they did give increased NVIDIA here. NVIDIA does provide a lot of networking solutions thanks to that Mellanox acquisition that they did in 2021. So not only do they benefit from the AI chip itself, but they also benefit from the networking plays. AMD also did get a boost from them, but I saw that they're very excited just how they watched the stream, Neil. They're very excited
Hmm.
about the MI 355, but more importantly, the MI 400. So it really is a market that it seems crazy. Someone was just talking about it, chat. It's like we're just throwing money everywhere. But I think we're going to look at the next bookmark that you might have. It showcases that a lot of these big tech players believe that something is happening in AI right now, that you need to make this massive investments right now. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, right, Neil? We had XAI confirm, or Elon kind of confirmed, that he's deconstructing a power plant
Yep.
overseas and building it back and shipping it back to the United States. We see Oracle having that one deal of $30 billion in fiscal year of 2028. We see Meta investing in the super adventures of AI team, or the adventures of AI team, or we don't know if it's the Avengers or the negative side of it.
Mm.
But and then we see Google's a top talent in Google's CEO mentioned something yesterday as well, that he believes the next 6 months. I think you might have it right, Neil. Um,
Uh,
let's see, I
I did
forget.
have it.
There we go. Logan Kilpatrick. The next 6 months of AR are likely to be the most wild we will have seen so far, and I think he's a
And
lead.
he's a
Uh,
yeah.
of AI Studios plus the Gemini API. And he kind of talks about it in his tweet under that. The main reason is everything scaling up: more hardware, more model progress, more product, more AI momentum, and more poof in general. So AI, I think, is I'm pretty excited to see what my $200 a month gets me, Neil.
That is correct. That is correct. I mean, well, we did talk a little bit about this in private yesterday. I mean, I think I've seen. Let me actually make sure. The Perplexity guys, because I think they're launching maybe tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Uh, what's the name?
Perplexity just announced a $200 a month solution as well.
Correct. Correct. Perplexity Max. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Perplexity
Perplex.
Max. Sorry, I was reading this. AI A1 Steak Suck is assembling his AI lizard army.
I mean, he can contact me in any day he wants. I'd like to join the loser army for that amount of money.
Um,
Um,
and then Nicola here, I think even Intel will make a comeback.
that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Um,
But I know you're going to go into something, Neil. But just when we saw that, $12 billion is all they expect the market to be in the CPU space by 2028. What is there to come back? It's I mean, I
yeah,
think
but
right now it's about an 8 billion
well,
market. I think it's that would be still a 50% year 50% growth from where we're at right now, because I think AMD did like 4 point something and Intel did like 4 point something for the year as well, if I'm not mistaken.
but here they're only talking about data centers, correct? So none of the
None of the center.
on-device mobile
Yes,
stuff like that.
and also I wonder if enterprise is included in here.
Yeah, good question. Good question. But this is Perplexity CEO tweeting out this yesterday. Now, since I guess this is the American date, then this is tomorrow. And if not, then this is September. So I guess Comet, the agentic browser, is launching either tomorrow or 2 months from now. 2 months? Yeah, 2 months from now. Remains to be seen. That's going to be interesting because an agentic browser, I mean, that could be cool. Plus, this could maybe also push Google Chrome, Google basically to maybe transform Chrome into an agentic browser. Because Sundar did talk about AI agents and memory being a big thing for 2025, especially also 2026. So could be very interesting. Let's see. If I had something.
I see this person. I think this is the second time they asked this. Can you talk about Nvidia, like the chart, including like whether if tariffs is going to affect the upside of the AI things, or will it still shoot upwards still this few weeks or months? Dan, I wish I knew the answer here. I mean, maybe Neil wants to play. I don't know if he wants to play his technical analysis black magic for us on Nvidia charts to see what that is
I
talking
I
about.
will. But first up, this is more important. TSA is ending its shoe-off policy at airport security for most passengers
Oh,
Huh, thank God. Because
just get TSA pre-check. You never have to take off your shoes.
I don't know what that is. As a European, I never have to take off my shoes anyways, so I don't know what
Oh,
you
okay.
guys are.
Yeah. I don't take off my shoes anywhere. Anyways.
Okay, because you travel in business or something.
um,
So what do we have to see for Nvidia? If it
Tell me if in the next month, in a few weeks, is going up or down. Thanks.
ah,
And I'm taking your word to it, and I'll make an investment out of it.
I mean it is at all-time highs right now. So RSI wise, we actually are just not overbought at the moment. Um, so yeah, I don't know. This looks like a dump incoming. No, like we're going back to
Yeah.
120.
Don't you dare say anything bad about my Nvidia. Um,
um,
but I mean, in regards to tariffs, something serious. In regards to tariffs, well, I mean, unfortunately, you're getting so many different things, right? You're getting like the big beautiful bill. You're also getting tariff stuff. I mean, it seems like deals are happening. If deals are happening, let me just say AI demand is crazy. I don't think it's going to affect any of these is going to affect anything too much. It would be just a nice push or tailwind or headwind in either direction. The big beautiful bill had some things that do create some tailwind incentives, like maybe the 100% reduction if you can write off AI servers on the first year, which can free up free cash flow, which can help build more AI data centers in faster. So there is that tailwind from there. You also have that tailwind of more fabs being built around the United States, which can create more AI chips. Now, there are probably some things that I didn't read in this crazy 1,000-page big, beautiful bill that could create some headwinds as well indirectly. So regardless, Nvidia, I think, is going to continue to dominate as the number one player here. Tavera Rubin is expected to come out next year. We do have Blackwell Ultra already shipping. We saw companies like Iron. I think Iron announced the Blackwell Ultra, right? Neil, that they're getting some
uh,
of it already. They said the
B200,
B300.
B300, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Blackwell Ultra. You have not Oracle, CoreWeave already showcasing the GB300. So we are seeing that the Blackwell Ultra is shipping already. Dell also announced it. So I think the Blackwell Ultra was the Blackwell, I had a very, very high hopes for the Blackwell, Neil, and it did meet them. But I think the Blackwell Ultra, because you're no longer having some of these masking issues that you had with the Blackwell Ultra is going to be a whole different beast. And I don't think the market is understanding how much of a beast it is. Regardless, at $160 where we're at right now, I'm definitely not purchasing, but it is closer to 30% of my overall portfolio. That's what I was
Mhm.
just laughing at you, Neil, real quick. I'm like, I want to go back and see the thumbnail. Um, but yeah, I'm personally not adding at this, but I'm definitely not selling. Why would I sell? You still have the Blackwell Ultra, you still have Rubin, you have the Rubin Ultra, and you still have the potentials of the robotics market. You still have the potential of the AI healthcare market. For me, not
Autonomous
selling.
vehicles,
Autonomous vehicle, yeah.
selling to
Uh,
China, selling to the
Selling,
UAE, selling to Saudi
yeah,
Arabia. So
AI agenic solutions. Let's see what September 7th or July 9th brings to the table. We'll find out. Uh, Grok is releasing Grok 4.
Grok
Let's see how
4.
much AI this Wednesday. Let's see what's
Yeah.
happening in this AI space.
Let's see if it got smarter because Grok right now is probably my least favorite
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah.
Um,
And this is a quick question. If not purchasing, why not selling? I mean, you don't have it. It's not a either or type of game. Sometimes it's a do nothing type of game, and the do nothing is a great play. Um, yeah.
yeah. Jose, last week when we touched on Wolf and there was that first pump, we should have YOLO'd a little bit because yesterday it went up another 95%.
Th- yeah, things like this, Neil, make me
Look
want
at
to follow
this.
my gut a little bit
50
more.
cents to now
Yeah.
$3.40 pre-market.
When the big beautiful bill passed, I think it created a lot of excitement for the stock as it does give it showcased that the Chips Act wasn't getting canceled. I think that's one a lot of people were worried about, and it's not. It's actually even being improved a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
but this is for a
yeah,
company
that
that
is wild.
supposedly should have gone bankrupt, or maybe will still go bankrupt. You know, this bump right here is just
Hmm.
because they announced a new CFO.
Yeah, yeah,
Should have bought it. You know, we could have maybe champagne showers here on the stream. Uh,
yeah.
some people want me
I,
to talk about SoFi,
yeah.
so but you
Just
go
before
ahead.
we, I like this question. Roberto has a great. I wonder if this is how people felt about the internet in 1999. I wish I can go back in time and understand and see, like, were we actually getting results, or was the internet showcasing that it was going to change the world? Like with AI, you're already seeing it. I mean, my overall process, I use AI on a daily basis now. It's insane. I mean, autonomous robotics, autonomous vehicles. I mean, Tesla, I actually get to see the product firsthand of AI innovation. Image generation and stuff like that. I mean, you're seeing the evolution in various industries already. It's not just a hope thing. You can actually see it if you open your eyes. I wonder if the internet in 1999, again, I don't know, that's why I can't really say, but in 1999, how was the world looking at that technology, and were you actually seeing some results that can give you that excitement? So
I agree.
I'm not. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I wish I. Obviously, we now see the internet as like the most basic thing, but at that era, I would love to have seen like what the sentiment was behind it, and what was driving that sentiment. Was it actual results somewhere? Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure the ability to email some. Well, was email invented with the internet? I don't know.
I mean, first of all, I agree with you. I mean, second of all, there are definitely some companies today that do feel like 1999 bubbly, right? Companies that have nothing to show for, because that was the case also in 1999. Like a lot of even the huge companies that we see today, the Amazons and all of that, back in 1999 they were valued as if they were generating billions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, but they were just starting off. Um, so I do want to say that back then it was completely new, completely new. Everything basically changed. Like the whole world changed in 1999. Today, yes, there is a big change, but we're still staying in that digital interconnected world. It just gets amplified through AI. Now, today, we have a lot of companies that are, of course, you could say hyped up, but a lot of these companies are generating hundreds of billions of dollars. So that's in my eyes the big difference between today and 26 years ago. Like I said, there are definitely some companies that do not deserve to be worth billions of dollars today because they have AI in their name, or they say that suddenly they sell AI software where in essence it's just SaaS. Okay, you just add the AI label to get a higher multiple, and that's about it. Um, so yeah, Jose, you're not something an engineer. Ah, well, the stream is over. We're done for. Fini. Um, but yeah, that's in my eyes the big difference here. Of course, there will be companies that will go bust, just like every other period. But I think the big ones will still make quite a lot of money from it. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and I do wonder what engineers do sound like.
ask Apple.
Yeah, I would love to hear from Josh what an engineer should sound like. But yeah, Neil, go ahead. Do your SoFi stuff here.
Yeah, so SoFi, as you can see, $19.70 actually pre-market. So we're closing in at $20, which again we have not been at these prices since 2021. So a long time ago. I'm here on the weekly just to show you that we've had a long time. For everyone that's saying, "Oh, SoFi, what a trash stock! I've been underwater for so long." The only way you're underwater is if you bought back in 2021. Okay, if you've been buying all the way down here, 2022, 2023, even 2024, you're up significantly on the stock. What's interesting here is that we had two periods of approximately the same time frame. So 441 days of the stock being stuck between around $5 to $8, and then it jumped. And then it was stuck between $6 to $10 for around 469 days until it actually started to make its next jump, which we've seen here. And then, yeah, of course, at the start of April, we actually went back under $9, believe it or not. And now we are sitting here closer to $20 pre-market. Again, you might say this looks like a some weird some weird cup, and maybe a handle will follow, which means we're going to get a pullback. Maybe yes, maybe no. On the weekly, we are not overbought just yet. On the daily, we definitely are. On the daily, we definitely are. But if you ask me, is SoFi expensive today? I mean, SoFi was already at $18 at the start of the year, and I think SoFi is a better company today than it was at the start of the year. So if you liked it at $18 back in January, then you shouldn't be hating it and should actually like it at close to $20 now in July, when we have a lot more information about the company, when we know that the company will actually relaunch its crypto business. We launched some international money transfers as well. When we actually, well, it's true. Again, with this big beautiful bill, I really want like one of these AI companies to actually summarize the whole thing, put it in a couple of pages so we can just have a quick read. But yeah, I like it. I like it very much. I think it will do very well in the future. Of course, I own it. I don't plan on selling it. But yeah, next quarter will be an interesting one. Get more information, guidance for the back half of the year, maybe some commentary already on 2026, especially with regards to the tech platform. So very, very, very good. And I'm sure that the sentiment around the company will change because the stock is suddenly up quite significantly. And so, yeah, great to see. Can we reach all-time highs in 2025? Meaning all-time highs for SoFi is 28. I don't think so. I mean, crazier things have happened, but I don't think we should be rushing to all-time highs just like that, unless, of course, the business suddenly accelerates and there is a re-rating. But so far, no, I don't think we should be anywhere close to $30 right now.
Was the all-time highs during kind of the COVID era when you kind of saw that
Correct.
fintech mania? Got
Yeah.
it.
Just like with every other company out there, like even like Airbnb, for example.
Yeah.
Airbnb,
Has there been any fintech that has passed back to those all-time highs?
probably Robinhood. Yeah, Robinhood is the one. This is the crazy,
Okay,
crazy.
that's the only one. All right,
Yeah.
that is wild. Yeah, holy smokes.
Yep. So it looks like a meme coin for sure. But yeah, insane run from Robinhood for sure. I was buying SoFi. Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Very
What
nice.
indicator did you use? I only have here moving averages and RSI. All the rest, if you see an indicator, I have no clue. That's just trading view.
Hood and hoodie.
Yeah, Hood has been crazy. But yeah, going back just to show you what happens when you go public at the wrong time, or wrong time, wrong price. This is Airbnb. Also went public here 2020, reached all-time highs here 2021 at $224. Since then, you're basically underwater. Actually, you're underwater since it's basically flat since it went public, despite the business growing, becoming more profitable. But this is what happens when you go public at an overpriced IPO. Bad performance, of course, you could have added here at $80 or so, but yeah. Good company, bad time to go public during the biggest tech bubble.
I like this one, Neil. I know you talk about PayPal as well. Do you think it lacks innovation?
Not anymore. I don't think so. Not anymore. Since Alex Chris came back, I think they've been doing what they should be doing as a payment provider, as the company that owns Venmo. Because remember, when we talk about innovation, it's PayPal here. They don't have to invent VR glasses or something like that, or GPUs, right? It's payments. So
Yeah.
yes, they were slow before, because payments should have been easier, faster, especially when you use the PayPal app. You don't have to go through 10,000 verifications. It should have been much easier, which it is right now. Braintree is, of course, getting better and better, more profitable for them, which is why growth is coming down, but growth should reaccelerate in the second half of the year. Venmo has become, I think, the preferred way of payment in the United States, especially for the younger generation. It's completely crushing Cash App, actually. Um, and again, since Alex Chris came in, he's made sure that the PayPal ecosystem actually works well together. If you have money inside the PayPal ecosystem, whether it's on your PayPal account, the PayPal app, or Venmo, they can actually monetize it. You can actually use that money in smart ways, spend it in smart ways, get rewards, discounts. Now, apparently, in the PayPal app, and maybe also Venmo app, you can basically manage all of your subscriptions. It's a cool thing, right? It's all in one place. All of your subscriptions are there, which makes it very easy for you to cancel
Yeah.
anyone or resubscribe. So I don't think they're lacking innovation anymore. Back
And like you
back
mentioned, Neil, right? This is a market where you don't see the innovation happening. Most likely, a lot of
exactly.
the innovation happening here is in the back end. Um, it's maybe more like consumer based products as well that could be seen as innovation, and I don't know if that has changed a little bit more. I mean, I still use PayPal and Venmo. Those are the only two platforms I use outside of Cell. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, no,
but yeah.
that's the thing. The innovation happens in the back end. So if you're a merchant or whatnot, and you use PayPal and you see that your payments are going faster, it's maybe cheaper, whatever, you are seeing that impact. But for us, unless of course you use PayPal daily and the PayPal app and Venmo, then you can probably see that they have been updating the app accordingly, especially in the United States. So yeah, things definitely are getting much better for PayPal, and I still think it's extremely undervalued at the moment. Doesn't mean it should be at $300 right now, but in my mind it can be at 100 and still be undervalued at the moment. So, and they have
And a
stable
lot
coins. They have
they
it.
do, right? They do, right? I was gonna say I thought they did.
Yeah,
Um,
PayUSD is I think at $1 billion market cap at the moment, so still small compared to Tether and Circle. But yeah, they do have it, and of course they'll scale it accordingly. And once they can scale it more and more, use it inside the ecosystem, it's of course going to be very good for them because margins are better. Plus, they can make money on the stablecoin.
yeah. And you would think, I mean, PayPal works with all these big businesses with things like Braintree and all that. Do you think that gives them an edge for maybe some of these companies that would want to integrate some form of stable coin into their business by having already that foot on the door, Neil? Or do you think maybe more companies would rather go to like a Circle, which seems to look like more of like a pure play? So you believe because they're more of like a pure play, they know that technology a little bit better.
I mean, with Braintree, of course, this can be part of the value proposition when you go to one of those big merchants or whatnot, restaurant chains, you name it, and say, look, this is everything that we offer. We also have a stable coin, which means that take rate might be a bit lower, but there is a way for you to make a bit more money, or for PayPal to make a little bit more money. Just they have to pay a bit less, but it's definitely part of the value proposition when they go to their customers, for sure. Because why not? But if you are coming there with all of the solutions from Braintree, if you have your own stablecoin in PayPal, why would the other companies suddenly start to go with an outside company, have, okay, maybe we want to create our own stablecoin, when everything can be done inside the PayPal ecosystem? Because remember, PayPal has the two-sided ecosystem: us, the customer, and the other side, the merchants, which is very good also for advertising, which is a business that didn't exist a couple of years ago and is existing today and will probably scale up to become probably a multi-billion-dollar business in the future. Um, ooh, good question. Good question. I mean, logically speaking, I would say SoFi, just because
PayPal.
market
Oh,
caps. No, because market cap wise, it is much lower. But purely on based on today's price, I just think that PayPal today should should be worth 50% more than it is at the moment. So like if I
So I
could
was
get
right.
my 50% today, I'd take PayPal. But for let's say the next 10 plus years or so, I'd probably take SoFi.
Yeah.
But luckily, I don't have to choose because I have both.
Yeah. I don't know how we got into this, but music. I just want to say thank you for giving us this knowledge. Asteroids and Pac-Man were the first video games. Appreciate that bit of knowledge. Um,
Really?
wasn't it that
No, I know what
uh,
asteroids is. You think I'm an amateur?
no, no. I thought I was gonna say. I thought it was that tennis. That's not asteroids, right? It was like the
With the
tennis, like
ball.
back and forth. Yeah, the ping pong. I thought that was one of the first. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, let's
Asteroids is more
ask.
like
Let's ask Google. What was the first?
music. Better not be hallucinating over here, giving us Pong. Thank you. Right, Marco. That's what I was saying. Josh again.
Yeah,
Part Pong.
yeah, yeah. Tennis for two in
Pong.
1958.
Yeah. Dun, 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 what I was saying. And you thought I was.
I don't know what you were doing here. You're a puppeteer or
It was the
something.
Pong. Dun, dun, dun. And that was giving you the sound effects.
Now I'm actually curious. When did Pac-Man come out?
1984.
1980. I see here.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, very close actually. And asteroids
1982.
79.
I was still close.
Yes, very close. Did you watch the Tetris movie that came out in
No.
84 actually? Tetris.
No.
Very good,
Tetris.
very good movie if
Wait,
you
the
could see.
Tetris movie that came out on 84 or
No,
Tetris
the
movie
Tetris
that came out
no.
about the game?
Tetris the game came out 84, but the Tetris the movie came out I think 2 years or so ago on Apple. Um, it's a very good movie.
Um, Marco says he's old enough, lol. And the email was popular way before the internet, as you know it was. I mean, I, I, I I don't know if I was emailing back then.
When in 1984?
Yeah, 1984.
Uh,
All right, back to stocks real quick.
real quick.
QNC, UNH. What are you doing here, Neil? I know you own it, so would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I still own it. Let's see. Back. I still own it. Seems like it's been the same range for actually since mid-May. It's been at $300 or so. It did try to go above that 20-day moving average last week. Didn't hold. Of course, we have earnings at the end of July. To be honest, I mean, tomorrow is that July 9th thing. I don't know if we're going to get
What
any
is
more.
today's event, or is there an event today or something? I see like that thing right under. Was that
Today's
just a dividend or something? Yeah. Oh, it's just latest updates. Oh, they do latest updates. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Pretty
guess
cool.
now with AI, I think everybody wants to add as much info as possible. But yeah, anyways, tomorrow is that July 9th deadline. Whether it's a real deadline or not doesn't really matter anymore because all the letters have been sent yesterday. So already know which countries got the letters, which countries did not get a fax. Pigeon Voyager, I don't know how they did it. But yeah, actually I wouldn't mind adding a little bit more if it stays like this for the next couple of days. So yeah, I still like it for the short term because how much I know this is a very dangerous thing to say. How much more can this go down?
Ah, Neil, you don't want to say that. Someone clip it. I don't know if that's a thing, and bring it back in a year from now.
Yeah, a year or maybe just a couple of weeks. It's like, how much more can this go down? Pause. Famous last words. But yeah, no, I don't know. If guidance is really that bad where it's been reduced by I don't know how much, then okay, then maybe it could go down. But we have already been slashed by 50% here for a company that still generates $410 billion in revenue. So of course margins can be impacted. again, I hope the guidance will enlighten me a little bit more on whatever gets mentioned in that big beautiful bill, because I assume they know exactly what got mentioned there. So yeah, we'll see. I still like it for the short run. I'm not planning on holding this for the next 10, 20 years or so. Although whoever did buy it 10, 20 years ago has been doing extremely well. Um, but yeah, just not for me. But I like it. At $300, I think it's still good for me.
Yeah. Let's see. Top Cat mentions he missed the 3 to 4, or they missed the 3 to 4% tips. I didn't. Are things up a nice amount pre-market today, Neil? That there's no dips.
I mean,
I mean, you see
yesterday,
it.
I depend on what company is talking about, because I
Mhm.
don't know if so many things did dip. Not that many things were down 5% yesterday in the popular names, actually.
Mhm.
Tempus is here at $58. I don't know. Someone asked about Tempus. Doesn't seem like. I mean, it was at 75. Now we're doing a bit lower. Um, but yeah, nothing crazy around Tempus at the moment. Although I might have seen a note here. Tempus AI expands its care pathway platform, Tempus Next, into breast cancer. The tool integrates EMR data to help doctors close biomarker testing gaps. Okay, just a good announcement, I guess, for Tempus holders. But that's about it.
Let's see. I'm just
Tommy
scrolling to
doesn't.
see if I see anything on
Tommy doesn't.
stock market right now.
Tommy doesn't think healthcare will move much in 2025 with RFK Jr. in charge of healthcare in the United States. I think it depends what company. I think it depends what companies we're talking about, because some of these companies, again, I don't think he will say anything that should change the way these companies do their business. I think it had more to do with what's included in the bill, in the spending, in the cuts. Again, might be mistaken, and it's true that healthcare has been an industry that has underperformed over the past couple of years. But yeah,
Wait, Neil, did you? I know you talked about SoFi. Why is the stock up 4%? Did you mention that? Was I not paying attention?
went to yesterday.
Today, pre-market, it's up about 3.4%.
Lovely
I
stuff.
I felt like I wasn't paying attention. And I
Man,
felt pretty bad, but now I.
$20. SoFi at $20. Haha. Where are my holders at?
SoundHound is up 8%. I'm not sure why. Did you say anything nice about it? Did you do a video, Neil?
No, but we talked about it during the stream, so I guess now we have stream power. I guess now we
Stream
have
power.
stream power.
As you see, this is all Neil. It has nothing to do with me.
Don't care. I'm not American. Oh. Well, let's see if we actually. So,
Let me see.
probably not. I think it's just momentum at the moment.
It's just momentum.
Or maybe
That's
they did announce
nice
something.
momentum. I mean, 3% from pretty much nothing is a good momentum.
Let's SoundHound. Let's see if anyone follows this company and has something to say. Or maybe it's just the technical stuff. I don't know. Probably it's just the technical stuff. But let's check
Morning,
SoFi.
Rebecca. I think we're getting a short squeeze. Some say it's the couch effect. Some say it's the AMD effect. What about AMD? Is AMD up?
Yeah, it is up.
Oh, AMD is. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so SoFi did announce something. So it expands access to private markets with funds from Kashmir. Huh. That's a very strange name to have. Kashmir Fundrise and Liberty Street Advisors. So Kashmir invests in a portfolio of high growth companies to give people access to early and growth stage private companies backed by cultural tastemakers like Josh Allen. Those are, what is this, NFL, NBA. iconic founders and top tier VCs. They leverage their platform and visibility as a distinct competitive advantage to drive market momentum and accelerate growth. I mean, I don't know how good investors Josh Allen and Jason Tatum are, but I think we can be included in that. Fundrise is the largest direct-to-consumer alternative asset manager in the US, serving over 2 million people. Fundrise is known for pioneering the democratization of real estate. I've heard of them. And venture capital through its online direct-to-investor platform. Okay. And the last one is an investment advisor that partners with experienced managers to offer differentiated investment strategy and opportunities in areas like private markets and alternative assets to help investors diversify beyond public stocks and bonds. Okay, interesting. It's funny because this is coming after Robinhood's stock token announcement.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of gives me a little bit of a vibe of like just trying to.
But here, this is not stock tokens. So through you invest in the funds that gives you exposure to multiple companies here. AI, machine learning, space technology, consumer products, healthcare, e-commerce, financial technology like OpenAI, SpaceX, Graza, Epic Games, and more. And so with a minimum investment minimum starting at just $10, SoFi is leveling the playing field. I mean, this is pretty good. And it says here 10.9 million members. I would have assumed we're already at 11. But okay. SoFi has already, this was already announced before. So they already partnered with Templum to give members access to privately held companies via the Cosmos Fund, with asset classes offering sole exposure to top tech companies like SpaceX, Databricks, XAI, as well as the Pomona Investment Fund and Stepstone. I never heard of those, but okay, who cares?
And isn't that other one, the ARC private fund, also available here?
Correct.
That one, yeah.
Correct. So yeah, I guess, I mean, this is, people were complaining, right? People were, I mean, you might not know, but people were complaining that, Anthony Noto doesn't do anything. They don't compete with Robinhood. Robinhood is far ahead, blah, 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 blah. But first of all, different strategies here, Robinhood and SoFi. Second of all, this is a very good move. Okay, this is a very good move. This has nothing to do with stock tokens or whatnot, because here you actually get the exposure, of course, through these funds. And by the way, after a week of semi-complaining on X, I finally got my OpenAI and SpaceX tokens on my Robinhood account.
Nice. And then right here, SoFi just hit 20. Neil, how do you think this is a possibility? I mean, you see it with like Nvidia and AMD. Sometimes we saw it about a year ago. AMD got that excitement from being kind of like the next second player. Now Palantir, you kind of maybe see it with Big Bear AI. Right? Kind of with that trend, at least with that thought process. I might have missed in Palantir. Let me go into the second player. You think, I mean, Eddie J has a point here. It could not all the momentum. Obviously, you know the business and the way you talk about it definitely has strong fundamentals behind it. But do you think some of the trend behind it could be caused by some of the excitement happening in Robinhood? Or you think these two are kind of two different spectrum of investors where it really doesn't have even a minor effect on the trends happening here?
Because remember, this is not, SoFi has been known in the retail community, I think even longer than Robinhood. Robinhood became very popular once it started to go up. I know this because I spoke about Robinhood at $8 and $10. And if you go back to my videos, barely anyone watched those, even the live stream back then. And so Robinhood, SoFi had already a big following. Maybe people are saying, oh, if Robinhood is worth $80 billion right now, SoFi could be worth as well. But I don't think you can make that comparison right now, because SoFi, again, is not an unknown company. It has been in the spotlight for quite a long time, especially in retail, especially in fintech. You could make that case for the other company we did touch on, Webull.
Mhm.
because that's a
Mm,
way, but because that's a really a
yeah.
direct comparison. Like brokerage platform, UI resembles that of Robinhood, and so this one could
Mhm.
be a direct comparison for people that missed the boat on Hood and are looking for the next one. I don't think that SoFi is that one, because actually a lot of people that own Hood also own SoFi. So um, I think Webull could be the case here.
The
Although
case, yeah.
the stock did rebound a tiny bit, but not by much. Um, and again, I never understood this. Oh, Robinhood is better than SoFi, or SoFi is better than Robinhood. Like, it's different companies that are trying to do different types of things. Again, Robinhood more focused on the brokerage side of the platform. Yes, it does offer you other things there, but SoFi also being a bank, right? Because SoFi has a bank,
Mhm.
they of course can't do everything that they want, just like a Robinhood, because well, banks are heavily regulated in the United States, and so launching betting markets, right, with Calcio, whatever, I don't think was an option for a SoFi. And yeah, of course, Robinhood right now outperforming SoFi by a lot, but I still think that SoFi has been doing extremely well.
Sounds good, Neil. Thank you for that. I was just trying to look here pre-market if we see anything else crazy. The only one that I see really up right now from some of the lists that I follow is SoundHound, but I don't think there's
No, I think it's
much
just
there.
and Uber keeps making new all-time highs. It's as if the autonomous threat has completely disappeared, just like that. Bam.
um, yeah,
Uh,
we
yeah,
have
actually,
IMS. I have SoFi and Hood, and I'm not buying Bull. And Eddie just wants to say thank you for your thoughts there, Couch. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can
I,
see the reasoning behind your thoughts, Eddie. Especially for someone who's not into this market like myself, I can definitely see why. Um, and we see it a lot in the tech and semiconductor space. So definitely great thoughts there from you, Eddie. Um,
this is maybe also a good comparison, right?
mhm.
AMD,
Yeah.
Nvidia. You missed Nvidia, and so the next Nvidia. This was back in
Mhm.
2024. AMD at $228. No, AMD was not the next Nvidia, and so
Mhm.
poof, a drop. Today, AMD, although the stock price is much lower, today AMD here is a much better company than AMD here.
Yes.
And so yeah, I would say that yeah, AMD could also be in that example where you missed company X, and so you're looking for company B, and company B in this case was AMD back
Waldo
at the
says,
top
"Let's see
here.
the heat map."
Is there? I don't think there's a pre-market heat map though. So
No, no,
I still,
there's no heat map in pre-market,
yeah.
unfortunately. So you will have to
Unfortunately,
wait 15 minutos until
yeah.
we actually see the heat map become dark red.
I'm looking at my chip at most chip stocks, Neil. Everything seems to be up at least green. Nothing crazy. Between 0 to like 1 or 2% at most. 2%, but closer to 0 to 1%. Um, you have your Nvidias, your even Intel at 0.6%. You have Meta of about 0.6%. So nothing. Luckily, right now, nothing looks too reddish. Um, so maybe a nice
But
green chart we will
was
see.
there a reason why most ship stocks were down yesterday?
I don't know. I think it was just the overall market fears.
Hmm.
I don't know if I mean certain countries like I guess South Korea, right? You have a lot of memory plays in there,
Yeah.
which could have
Japan.
maybe kind of hurt Japan as well. Has to do with certain type of semiconductor equipment comes from Japan. Some of the tools there. So I wonder if just since those two countries made the list yesterday, um, it created some fear in the overall market. But nothing was too red yesterday that I saw in the chip space. I think like 2% after a nice rally. that we've seen in a lot of semiconductor stocks. I mean, in AMD prime example was just at $100 like less than 2 months ago.
Hmm.
It has kind of really rallied up. I want to share this thoughts. Oh, right there. Not that one. Did you click this one, Neil, or did I
Yeah,
click
because I
this?
found this crazy. Someone just all in Oscar held for 1 million when it dropped 6 to 16. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. Was that you, Neil?
I wish
Oh.
I had 1 million to drop on one position.
um, John here. Jose, any thoughts on Supermicro? Um, I mean, as we're seeing, right, John, the AI server space is growing like crazy, right? You're seeing all these massive investments. You're seeing massive investments not just from hyperscalers, but you're seeing that the enterprise space is also starting to enter into the AI market. So I want to say the bullish case for Supermicro is that it's just this is a market where a lifting tide rises all boats. To me, the big bearish case and the reason I don't own Supermicro is just I'm not a fan of the business. I'm not a fan of kind of like this hardware approach. Um, and to me, if I wanted to invest in that AI growth, I feel like there's other ways around it where there might be businesses with different types of competitors and different types of business models that I prefer a lot better. So um, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if the stock continues to go higher. It's just not one I would put in my portfolio because I'm not a fan of the business model. Obviously, not a fan of the leadership. I don't know why, Neil. Every time I hear their CEO talk in any type of presentation, and I noticed this from like GTC even 2 years ago, when he would go and talk, it would be for him a pure selling game. Um, where no matter when you go, it's definitely a selling game, right? You want to uptalk your product, but you also want to make it in a discussion where it's more of like you're with the whatever partner you're working with, it's like a back and forth. Every time I would hear it would be more like a me super micro, and that's that, and that always rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm not a huge fan of leadership, but again, luckily in a market where it's just growing, even a poor leader can continue to do really well. And the final thing that I wasn't a fan of is they had to revise their guidance recently. And one of the main reasons is they had too many Hopper solutions. So it tells me that management right now is not doing that well with the inventory itself. They over purchased Hopper platforms, not thinking that it was going to, not thinking that maybe I should wait off and maybe not buy this many just to see how the market takes it. So it seems like they get a little too excited and they react to that excitement too much. So management might be another reason I'm not a huge fan of Supermicro.
I mean, plus everything else around the company, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, regardless, right? Technically, the stock can still do really well. I mean, this market is growing like crazy. So even if you don't, even if management does everything wrong, you can still end up making a lot and a lot of money. Um, so I can see why certain investors would want to purchase. It's just the AI server market is growing like crazy.
I agree. I agree. I mean, if they were to reach their, what was it, $40 billion in revenue in fiscal 26,
Hmm.
wouldn't be crazy for the stock with a market cap of $28 billion to go up a little
Yeah.
bit. Again,
Mhm.
low margin business. Margins have been declining. So even if they generate
Mhm.
more revenue than the market cap,
Mhm.
don't always have to go up that much. But yeah,
Yeah. Now, I do think with the margins, they always talk about it that the margins take a hit later on throughout the season of a new of an architecture in the chip because you have more competitors. All right. So now you have to see the Blackwell Ultra is coming out. What is going to if margins decrease? What is going to be the excuse there? If now it's the new architecture and the new chip here. Um, in theory, we shouldn't see much pressure on their margins. But if they keep putting excuses there, that would also be a red flag. If you kind of see margins go up dramatically, then maybe you can say, oh, look, actually, they were right. But I think they have to prove that margins was just an issue because of the last generation.
agreed. Agreed. I'm just looking at What companies for the SoFi funds thing? What companies you get exposure to? And it seems like you might also get exposure to the likes of Anthropic and Anduril. It's very interesting. Very interesting for
Um,
those that do have
I,
SoFi.
there's another question from Achilles here. Jose, are you in Cadence? I'm not, Achilles. I'm neither in Cadence nor Synopsys. But I do believe both these stocks are really strong in the software space. I've done plenty of videos on both Cadence and Synopsys, especially when they were much lower, where I was extremely bullish on them, but it's just I didn't have the funds, and I'd rather had the funds go into other companies instead. But Cadence and Synopsys, I think, are always going to be strong players. You're always going to need these technologies, and now you actually got that bullish sentiment recently from the So both Cadence and Synopsys during those dips, I have a few videos. Unfortunately, videos on Cadence and Synopsys don't do that well, Neil. So it's like
Because
I have to control.
you have to no, you have to title them better. Because I did check, I don't know what, very random. I did check Tom Nash's video
Yeah,
from
he
4 days
just did
ago,
it.
and I see here this one AI stock will make millionaires, and I'm like, what is this? Cadence. I'm like,
Cadence, yeah.
Jose, he stole your views.
I mean, and now that it's gotten that popularity, I hear more about Cadence, but it's like, um, I don't know.
You have to take
It's
advantage of it. You have to take advantage of it because you know this better than anyone.
But yeah, no, Cadence definitely and Synopsys both very bullish. I think both are very strong. I think the market tries to push Cadence over Synopsys. I think they just have different growth opportunities. But Lee Putan was a great player here in when he was the CEO of Cadence, and I actually see that kind of trickle down to Cadence's strength right now.
Yeah, agreed. Do you think it can be a millionaire maker? Since we are talking about titles.
Yeah, let's see Cadence stock. Let me see valuation right now. I mean, a time. I mean, can Cadence be $1 trillion company? I don't think so. Can this be a $500 billion company? I don't know. I don't think so either. Can it be a 250? I think 250 is possible. I know in the multi year time frame. Um, a software player like this with high margins, and maybe 250 is still pushing closer to 200. A millionaire maker, I mean, only if you're probably doing
Starting with a million.
750 at 800, coming in with 750 and 800,000, right? I think this is going to beat the market. I definitely do. I think Cadence will beat the market. Synopsys very well. I think too is strong business, but a 10 bagger, I don't know. I don't think so. I would say no to a 10 bagger.
I would probably agree. It's funny that Ruben here asked here about Shark Ninja. You probably know the company, right? Maybe you have one of their blenders or whatever at
Oh
home.
my goodness. Are they public?
Of course, they're public. They're an incredible company.
Yes. I mean, I don't have any other products, but some of my friends, like, that's all they're willing to buy.
Yeah, no, they're a public company. I actually talked about them on the channel, I think at the start of the year or something like that. So yeah, I mean, very good company. To be honest, very good company, trending up and to the right. I think even margins are quite good for this company. Let me check. Let's see. Let me pull up fiscal. Let's see together. So first of all, expecting to grow quite nicely. Gross margin wise has been improving for the last couple of years. Pretty good. Revenue wise, let's see. This is of course a trend you want to see up and to the right. Of course, this is not like a company growing 30% every year, but double digits,
Hey,
I'd
put
say
our
is
little
good.
banner.
Exactly, put a little banner. That is true. That is true. Can check it out, of course. Fiscal.ai, 15% off. New users will get 2 weeks of Pro for free. Yeah, no, Shark Ninja has been doing very well. So if we go here to segments and KPIs and actually see how they generate revenue and where, um, let's put it on the quarterly. So they have cleaning appliances, cooking and beverage, food preparation, and others.
Which one's the biggest?
Which one's the biggest? It seems like we're still cleaning appliances is the biggest, although a quarter, I don't know, although cooking and beverage was pretty big as well. But which cleaning has not been growing that much over the past couple of years, barely actually. The fastest growing is food preparation, makes sense. And then cooking and beverages, okay, other products, but I don't know what the other products mean because that has been growing quite quickly. But yeah, this is how they generate revenue. Let's actually see.
Massive decline this past quarter, right?
But I think that's because Q4. I mean, the December quarter is always the peak.
Okay,
right?
yeah. But is it up from year over year? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Quarter four being peak. Yeah.
Let's see if we can see some pictures here, but it doesn't seem like it. But I think most of you know what Shark Ninja. Let's see.
Yeah, they have air fryers. They have little
blenders. I think
grills,
ice cream
blenders,
maker. Let's see. This show has turned into an advertisement for Shark Ninja. They should sponsor us. So this is basically, I mean, our product. Maybe the Shark brand. Should have scrolled on. Okay, so apparently they've got all of this: hair, skin, air purifiers, cordless vacuums. So it's like the Dyson ones. iRobot competitor, I guess. No, I don't want 10% off. Okay, you can buy it straight. Oh. I mean, very interesting company. Is it something that I'd like to buy and own in my portfolio? Probably not. Probably it's one of those companies where I rather own the product than the stock. Although, logically speaking, if you like the product, then you should be buying the stock as well, because it will continue to go up if they continue to make great products. But yeah, over the last, 5 years, stock is up 154%. Market cap just under $15 billion. Revenue wise, 5.69 billion. Margin gross 48.2. EBITDA 13.4. Net margin of 7.9, and free cash flow of 3.5%. Average analyst price target sits not that much higher at $120 right now. Forward P 21. Price to free cash flow 27.2. that is the real question. But no, very good company actually. I don't know who talked about this. Ruben talked about this, and he said Joseph talked about it. I guess Joseph Carlson, maybe.
Well, I don't know. Only Joe I know is me, Jose. I don't know. That didn't go.
Sounded a lot better in my head.
Yeah. I didn't know Joseph Carlson talks about Shark Ninja stocks, but then again, he talks about everything. But yeah. Anyways, market is about to open. Do check out fiscal.ai. Link is down in the description and in the pinned comment after the stream. But yeah, let's see. I do have a poll running, and it seems like 67% of the people think the market will finish green, 12% say red, and 21% say flat. And with that, the markets are open. No bell, no what? Maybe keys. Should I do keys? I have the keys to the market. Click.
You have the keys to the market. Unlock the green gates.
So far, plenty of green on the sides. It will need some updating. Voila. We've got plenty of green, some red, but not much. Rocket Lab is red a little bit. Makes sense because it kept going up and up and up. Palantir is down 1%. Big deal. But all the rest seems to be green. Robinhood up 3.8%, SoFi up 4% now, Micron up 3%, Pinduoduo 2.7%, Tempus 2.8%, Oklo is up, AMD is up 1.3%, Reddit is up 1.4%. So yeah, Oscar, let's see, Oscar 1.3 as well here. Let's maybe have a quick look at our, let me refresh this one more time to see a much better picture, I'd say. Oracle up 2.2. Okay, Oracle 2.2. Microsoft is not moving at the moment. So yeah, we've got a lot of greens. Hood now up 4.5%. Uber flat at the moment. Nvidia up. Let's see what's going on maybe with our potential YOLO
Up
bet.
1.4.
Up 1.4 applied digital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where is it? Yeah, 1. Okay, 9.77. Where is Iron? Wow, Iron up 4.25%. This thing. These things are going nuts. So yeah, I mean, tempting, right? Tempting the YOLO bet. Why not?
Why not?
SoundHound is up 10%, apparently. Sound is up 10%. So yeah, Carlson in his last video. Okay. But I can say that I talked about it earlier. Voila. So if it goes up, it's mine. YOLO'd a very small position. Are you guys with me, or am I a solo in my YOLO? I think I'll be with you today.
I'll just do it right now. I'm doing 600 shares right now.
Applied.
I just placed 600. All right. I'm with you, Roberto. I did 600 shares of applied, and I'm actually like Navitas right now too. So I'm doing a quick YOLO on Navitas.
Navitas? Really? Navitas?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
Navitas. 600. No, I got, that's the most I have here on this trading account, 538.09. That's what I have.
I did about the same value for both Navitas and Applied. These two, I don't know. I've been thinking of them. Roberto just told me to do it. So Roberto, we're doing it.
So let me write. Jose, 600 shares, you said?
Yeah, it's. I mean, remember, guys, it seems YOLO, but for me, it's not going to be much to my overall portfolio. But I did do 600.
Voila. It is
All right,
official.
sounds good. It's official.
It is official. Let's go. The ticker is on the screen right now. APLD is for Applied Digital. Watch it go and back to $6.
Just to keep me also humble for later. Navitas, I did 1,000 shares, which is about the same value around these. So that was the other YOLO I did. So those are my two for now.
Oh, and it's now almost red. Oh my god. So this is Applied Digital and Navitas. This one's actually up 3%. So now it has to come down.
So Navitas, I guess, 6.26 was my my entry on Navitas.
Whew. Pumper. All right. With that said, of course, do not gamble money.
No, definitely not.
That you need. We anyways follow this space, so it's easier for us to follow these things. Plus, it's
that's the great thing, right?
We're
saying YOLO, and good thing, we do follow this space. And these are two companies we've kind of been thinking about earlier on.
Correct. Yeah. Tomorrow we no, tomorrow we probably will won't be live because I
Yeah, let's say it now. Imagine if both of these drop and we're like, oh, these guys didn't show up because of that. We're not scheduled for tomorrow, most likely.
yeah, tomorrow I don't think we will be live, but we'll be back Thursday. Thursday, I think so, right?
Yeah, Thursday should be good. And
Okay.
depending on what we see on Friday, maybe even a Friday stream possible. Short, at
depending
least a short.
depending on Applied
Yeah.
Digital and and Navitas. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We will of course talk now that we own it. We will talk maybe a little bit more and follow those developments along the way. But yeah, it's very it's barely 1% of the portfolio, and won't really impact us that much. Hopefully, it's a 10x, and then it will.
Yeah, Roberto here causing trouble.
Yeah, but Roberto, you're not solo in your YOLO bet.
Yeah.
So, voilà.
All right, take care, guys, and see you all Thursday.